So my name is Rachel Quinn. I'm the assistant head teacher attached to Year 9 this year. And I worked with Year 9 last year. So I kind of put the process together of our new Year 9 because now we have a 3-year Key Stage 3. So I kind of got experience of what Year 9 should look like to get everybody ready for Key Stage 4. So today, this evening, we are going to be covering all of the following things. If you want to just have a read of that whilst I just let people in. Okay, welcome everybody. I'm just going over what we're covering in this session. Thank you for attending this evening. Okay, so we will cover a range of things this evening, and we will also cover some frequently asked questions that have come through since the start of term. These tend to be really popular evenings just because it gives you all of the information that the students are getting in assembly. So Year 9 had their first assembly this morning. It was a long one because we had lots of information. They were absolutely brilliant, uniforms looking amazing, but we just wanted to go through some of the key messages that they're getting so that you can echo that at home, which is obviously really important, and we know that's what makes the students really successful. So it's lovely to virtually meet you all, even though you can't see my face, and I'm really looking forward to working with you all and your students this year. We've shaped Year 9 to be a great year. It's full of enrichment, it's full of getting ready for Key Stage 4, so I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, so key year group staff. So obviously you've got Miss Irwin, who is still the head of year. She'll be their head of year right up until Year 11. And we've got Mrs. Wilson, who is our head of school. She wasn't here last year, she was on maternity, but you may remember her from Year 7. So she's the go-to for any of the information on the pastoral curriculum, assessments, and progress, okay? And then obviously there's me and the assistant head teacher, the member of SLT, attached to the year group. Okay, so we'll work closely together at getting them through Year 9. So just some key information on home study, because this has changed since last year. So all of the curriculum areas have put together a new home study planners to give to the students, okay? Not physical planners, just information on. This is all going to kick in week 3. So as of next week, okay, this is what you could expect from all of the subjects. So we are expecting in Year 9 that they have an hour of English, maths and science and an hour of reading per week, which I'll come on to a little bit later. We want an hour of French or Spanish a week, depending on what they are studying, and then up to an hour per fortnight of each humanity and computing and technology. We also have a termly creative project for the chosen arts elective. So your children have picked dance, drama, musical, art as an arts elective that they are studying for 2 hours a week, and they'll get a termly creative project. So for example, in drama, it would be learning lines for the play that they're doing the set design, that kind of thing. So it's a creative project, and they can do it all at once, or they can do it bit by bit. So that is our new home study outline for Year 9. In terms of where you will find this information, one of the feedback from parents and carers is that you don't know how to help them or check if they're doing it, and we get that, and it is tricky because our curriculum areas, I suppose, save the homework in different areas. So this is to give you the information as to where everything is, okay? Let me just check. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so maths is always going to be set on Sparks. Okay, now the students are really, really good at this. The teachers are really good at keeping a check on it. If your child is struggling with their Sparks homework and they need some support, the maths team run a brilliant Sparks club in S71, which is a computer room, every Thursday after school, and it is staffed by a maths teacher. We don't set work over the holidays, but they're expected to do an hour each week, but if it's completed within an hour, okay? English, science and computing, they are setting all of their homework on Educake. It's an hour long for Year 7 to 9, and each year group an hour and a half for Year 10 and 11. It kind of creeps up later on. If you don't know the logins, or you want to support your your children, and you don't know how to log in, just let us know. If you just contact me or Miss Irwin, then what we will do is we'll get that information to you, and you can support it. So English, Science and Computing are on Educate. Languages, they are set on Quizlet, which is a brilliant platform because it does loads of self-testing. So it's brilliant for languages and keeping up on your languages. So with those 3 areas, that's where you will find the homework. For everywhere else, everything is set on Microsoft Teams using assignments. So that's so that you can see if there's an assignment set and whether they have done it. Sometimes it's set using forms, and that might self-mark, but most of the time it is an assignment that you can keep a check on. So we've got Microsoft Teams, we've got Quizlet, we've got Educate, and we've got Sparks. Now, I know that's quite a lot, but once you've got the logins and the children have got the logins, it is easy to keep a check on whether they are doing their homework, and we can keep an open channel between teacher and home. Okay, so I'm just going to move on to the students' personal development curriculum. So over the last 2 years, your children have been doing a personal development curriculum in form time. Now, in form time, we have 30 minutes again this year. So that's 30 minutes to start the day, 8:30 till 9:30. And we want to make it really, really useful to the students and their personal development. So year 9, which I'm really excited about, in 1 year, we are going to do the SSAT leadership qualification. Now, for those of you who don't know, SSAT is a nationally recognised qualification. And when students apply for colleges and do their personal statements, they will write about their year 9 SSAT qualification. So the year group I worked with last year have just got all of their certificates. We had some bronze, some silver, and some gold, and the large majority of students passed one of those. These next 2 slides are the slides that we are sharing with your children tomorrow in form time. So a lot of the slides are actually because we want you to know what they're getting in form and assembly. So what they will do is they will work on the 3 areas: developing myself, contributing to my community, working with others, and in form time through a range of different activities planned by us, and then they will do different things. So for example, they may run a charity drive for their year group charity, and then that will hit quite a lot of triggers across the bronze criteria. The aim is to get every single student for bronze at the end of year 9. However, if you look at the criteria, there's lots of year 9 students who are able to get to silver, potentially some to gold, because they do this all day, every day. So if you're looking at that criteria thinking, oh, my child does this all of the time, then what we want to do is motivate them to excel and become a leader, because ultimately that's what SSAT is all about: creating future leaders and getting ready for Key Stage 4. So they're going to be introduced to that in the morning. So if you want to have a chat with them tonight, I know some students might be attending tonight, so hello if you are. But we want to get running with that as of next week. So it's really important that they get motivated, because like I say, they will be writing about it in their college application forms and personal statements, and it genuinely does make them stand out from the crowd, and that's what we're aiming to do. Okay. In our pastoral curriculum and in our personal development, we also have something called the mental fitness provision. Now, if you attended the previous parental events, you probably have seen this before. This is just a bit of a recap of what we have on offer for your children this year. So we have our universal offer, which kind of happens in lessons. So for example, we have our Incredible Respect curriculum, where within EPR, they can study things like discrimination, sex education, how to support mental health, all of those things to help them become a well-rounded individual ready for the wider world. We also have obviously our pastoral curriculum, SSAT. We have assembly focus in weekly assemblies. We have interventions. It might be a one-to-one intervention. It might be a group intervention. They happen all of the time in the pastoral team. And then we have four waves of interventions in our mental fitness provision, which you can see there. Sorry, I just keep letting people in, as you can hear a little beep. So wave 1 is things like a timeout pass, a quiet space, one-to-one. Wave 2 is we have something called boost group sessions and growth mindset delivered by trained staff in school. Wave 3, we use external sources, for example, music therapy and drama therapy. And then wave 4, we have CAMS and speech and language. And then we have the educational psychologist as well. So we have 4 waves of support in school. And we have lots of students accessing lots of them. And if you feel like that your child would want one of those provisions and they're not accessing it at the moment, and maybe they haven't got the confidence to do that themselves, then just give us, just give us a call, give us a ring, and we will see what we can do. But there are referral processes that we can talk you through. But it's really, really crucial to our pastoral curriculum that we make sure that everybody is ready for Key Stage 4. And I know I keep saying that, but that's what Year 9 is all about, getting them ready for their GCSEs now that it's a 2-year course. Okay, we're going to come on to progress tests now. They have changed a lot over since your children started in Year 7, they have changed a lot. So this is to give you an idea of what we are going to be doing this year for Year 9. So all progress tests will be in Spring 1 and Summer 2. That means there's no progress tests at all in Autumn term. There will be progress checkpoints, like a little maths test in lesson, but they are not formal assessments that get recorded and sent home as they do in the spring and the summer. They will all focus on learning over other terms, and we will look at recall and memory and what they've kind of retained. But it's brilliant because it gives us the autumn term for everybody to get established in all of their subjects. When it comes to spring term, we will give revision timetables, and we've taken a lot of feedback from parents last year. I was in quite a few of the feedback sessions with parents on helping students revise. So we have revised our own processes to help support your children in revision timetables, because I know it was a bit tricky last year. We have also revised the information that we sent home, like the lists of revision for each subject. That has been refined, and it has been, I suppose, minimised because it was a little bit meaty, so it was a bit too long. Maths, English and Science, again, will have fixed dates, and all of the other subjects will work on a 2-week basis because they're on at different times. So we will give you that information in advance for core, and then students are going to be asked to do that lesson to lesson. However, they're going to be given dedicated time in form time in order to fill the gaps. And that was the feedback last year from students as well. So that just gives us an opportunity to have enough time to revise and know exactly which test is coming when. And then obviously we will report this home. One of the big things that we ask from you is that you support us on the effort and the habits that students have in school. And obviously it's different for different subjects, but we know that, high effort has a massive impact on results. I am going to brag here because we are very, very proud of last year's Year 11 results, bearing in mind this was the first year group since 2019 to sit full exams with no units taken away to help them. They sat the full exams as if it was pre-COVID. And we've managed to get the best results for any comprehensive school in Manchester. So we are officially the best comprehensive school in Manchester. And we're very, very proud of that. But what we're very, very proud of is the journey that we've come on to get us there. And one of those big things is effort. From research, from experience, we know it's a huge indicator of future success. So what we want to do is we want to push the effort in school, okay? We want to push the effort at home and home learning and get students into really healthy habits, healthy learning habits, ready for next year. That is, sorry, that's a bit blurry actually. You've seen this before because this was introduced last year, but this is the effort grading criteria from last year, and it's not changed, and it just looks at what poor effort is up to excellent effort. And obviously we want the excellent and good effort consistently each lesson. Students might have blips here and there, that's absolutely fine, but it's about learning from that and moving forward. So with students over the next week, starting on Monday, we are going to come back to these effort grids, and we are going to look at what their effort is at the moment and how they can move up to the next criteria. The other thing that we're going to start looking at again is the revision habits. Sorry, there's just a question there. Yeah, absolutely. It's on the school website, so I will point you in the right direction of the grid, of the effort grid. The other thing that we're looking at is revision habits. Now, we did look at this in year 7 and 8, so this isn't anything new, so you probably do recognise this. But now they're in year 9, we want to really hone in on their skills and get them ready for Key Stage 4. So what we're going to focus on is revision timetables and using them effectively, and revision cards. We know that revision cards are really popular with students. They love getting the little cards and all of the colours out, but they are a crucial part of any assessment, all of these revision habits that we have. We talk about it in form, and in different curriculum areas, they talk about it as well. But it is, you know, revision is hard. It's a really challenging thing to do, especially if students are trying to do it on their own. So we teach them how to revise in every single curriculum area. And then what we want to do is support that at home and encourage it. So that's where kind of we need your help. So this isn't possible for everybody. We are aware of that. But if you can, help students set up a place to study at home. Now, if that's not possible, we do have homework clubs in almost every curriculum area now. We have the library club as well, every single night for students that they can go and get some help. We have the Access and Achievement Club, which is a homework club where members of the Access and Achievement team, the teaching assistants, they can support your child in revising. Resources like highlighters, coloured pens, paper, revision cards are brilliant. Encouraging them to talk about the habits that they've learned in lesson in the lead up to progress tests. If you need resources like revision cards, pens, things like that, again, just communicate with us, let us know, and we will support you, because we have lots here in school. But we just want you to be using the same language as us in school, and echo that at home, so that we can make these, you know, this a really successful year. So I mentioned earlier, as part of the homework, that we are asking for a minimum of an hour per week. Now, in school, students once a week in form time spend 20 minutes reading. So we're already getting 20 minutes during form time. But the more that we do, the better. So, you know, it's one of the big habits that we are driving again this year. We did it last year brilliantly, but the importance of reading is, as you can, you know, you can agree, is undeniable. The research reinforces this every single year. The idea is we want them to read for 20 minutes every day, and that doesn't need to be all at once. It might be reading different things in drama or in history and texts, it's things like that. It's just supporting them in reading. Now, every single student are asked to have a personal reading book in school on top of the one that we give them. So they all get their reading book for this year, but we need them to have another reading book. So there's opportunities in form time to develop those reading habits. So if your child does not have a reading book, or if you're not sure, please could you just check with them, because that's what we're going to be doing from next week, is just checking that everybody has their reading book. If you don't have one at home, obviously we have our incredible library with, and we've got so many brilliant books this year, which obviously they can check out for free. So just please encourage them to go to the library after school or before school, and get that book checked out. And then we're going to encourage that from next week. I think some of the form tutors have already emailed you about bringing reading books in. So we're just going to push that next week. So that would be brilliant to have your help. Okay, this is something new this year, and this is what we have introduced to your children this morning in form time, in assembly. Like I say, they got lots of messages this morning because this was their first assembly back. So we ate into science time a little bit. But what we want to do is we want to give the best possible conditions for students to learn. And we know from research, we do a lot of research in the school, and we know that if lessons are calm and focused, students have habits and routines, and students embrace struggle and repetition, that we will have successful, creative and happy learners. Okay, so just to give you a little bit more information on that, and again, students, if students are listening, they've had this already. But what we want is students' conduct, language and movement on the corridors, okay, to be calm. You know, moving around the school, we've got 1,500 students all on different breaks and different lunches at different times of the day. So when 300 students are on a break, the rest of the school are on lesson. So we want students to be moving around the corridors quietly and calmly and focused, getting to where they need to be, so that we're not distracting people on the corridors. We want their attention, we want their focus, and we want their long memory retention to be good, but we can't do that without focus. We don't want students to be anxious and we don't want them to feel unsafe. We want to have a respectful learning environment, okay? Now, year 9, so far, during lesson time, have been fantastic. One of the big foci this year for me is the conduct on the corridor and in social times. That's where we have our issues in year 9, and that's what I'm going to be working with them at improving. The other thing is the habits and routines, which is our scholar habits. I'll briefly go over them again, but you've already seen these before. Practiced habits and predictable routines help reduce cognitive load and ease anxiety. If students know what to expect, they're in good habits. They get into lesson, they open their book, they write the date, they write the title, they underline it, they do the starter. If that's a habit and routine in lesson and they are in that habit, they get straight onto the new knowledge straight away and they are learning more. And we know that works with our students. We did this last year, we're just kind of honing it in. And then the last one, which is struggle and repetition. So it's about students embracing struggle really, and realizing that it's okay to get things wrong and it's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn. We all know that as adults. And it's trying to instill that into students to get things wrong, learn from it, revisit, and do that regularly. The idea that we want to motivate them because we know that increases potential achievement. We want to challenge them. We want them to practice. So these are the messages that your children are getting. Well, they'll be getting this repeatedly all year, really. And it's just to inform you of that, really. So if you can echo this at home. Now, the Scholar, you've seen this before because this is new last year. So loads of your children will have got a Scholar certificate. Some of them would have won the Trafford Centre Prize, which I think was a £10 voucher. For being an amazing scholar, they got put into a prize draw. We are running that again because we know, and research and experience tells us, what makes the most difference. And we know this had a huge impact on focus and all of those things, all those scholar habits. So we're going to continue with this. We're going to focus on different scholar habits each half term, a few at a time. When we said this morning to the year 9s, sit up like a star, everybody sat up. Everybody looked at me, everybody focused back in because it's been drilled into them last year and it really, really does work. So over the next term, we're going to be looking at reading and literacy, which is why we really, really could do with all students in year 9 having a reading book in their bags all day, every day. So if at any opportunity in a lesson or in form time, we can do some silent reading, everybody's fully prepared for that. Okay. This is my world now, enrichment. Okay, so extracurricular will run exactly the same as last year. You will book everything on Arbor. I will email you information at the end of this week of when you can book on, and all clubs start next week. Okay, so in week 3, all of the clubs start and they run right up until Christmas. So you can book on now up until Christmas. Okay. We do really encourage students to attend at least one activity. This is the other thing when we're thinking about moving forward into Key Stage 4. When students are applying for colleges, you know, colleges are looking not just for academia, they're not looking for the best results. They are looking for a well-rounded individual. And I genuinely believe that being at Chorlton High will help them with that, because we've got an incredible enrichment programme. We're offering them a pastoral curriculum SSAT this year, and then something different next year. We are helping them stand out, so we need your encouragement to help us as well. So this is just a very, very small list of what we've got. We've got Coding Club again, football, Crafternoon, movie makers. It's Little Shop of Horrors. Auditions started tonight. That's why I was a tiny little bit late. And we've got Film Club. English are running this brilliant journaling club this year. We've got the Library Club as normal. Oh, sorry, that's there twice. Chess Club. We've got 2 chess clubs running actually. Badminton, MFL Supper Club. Okay. So all of this information will be sent around to you on by Friday. And then you'll be able to book on Arbor, and there will be like a booking time, so it's fair, because that was feedback from last year that you went to book on but it was after work. So we will give you plenty of time to see what's available before you can book on. And I will send that information out to you. Any issues, please just let me know and I will support. On top of that, the enrichment so that's after school. We have a lot of enrichment available in school because some students aren't able to attend extracurricular for whatever reason. So we have our summer Ellie day, our summer Ellie week. And in year 7, 8 and 9, they have a sports day. That will be year 9's last sports day of Chorlton High. And then they'll move into year 10 and do something different on the summer Ellies. We also have our social action plays. They continue this year. So year 9 get 2 plays in the Blue Box Theatre this year, 1 in the autumn term and 1 in the summer term. And they'll be able to look at things that link directly to the Respect curriculum. We're still in talks with which ones year 9 are going to get at the minute, but I can communicate that home and let you know. But they're very well received by students. Okay. I'm going to whiz through this because you have seen this before, but it's just a quick reminder on digital safety. These are the exact same slides as last year. It's just a reminder that, 9 times out of 10, the issues that we have in school are to do with online issues. So please, 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 can you just remind your students to set passwords on their Teams account? When students first joined up to Chorlton High, it was 1 set password. We have a lot of students who still have that 1 set password since year 7. It makes it very easy for students to hack them, especially when they clock onto what their username is. So please, can you make sure that they change that? Encourage your students, sorry, I keep saying students, your children to log on to all of their social media if they have it, and make sure that they are password protected. And if there's any issues and you feel like you need support, then please let us know. Screen time, monitor the screen time, and just be aware of the age restrictions of certain platforms, because some of them are for older students, and a lot of our younger students have them. So that's just a quick reminder to speak to your children about that, because like I say, 9 times out of 10, any issue that I deal with in school is to do with something that somebody said online. It is National Online Safety, so this is just a little hint for you to manage screen time. You can check it on the settings on students' phone if they have a fancy phone. If it's an old Nokia, you can't. Okay, and then a quick reminder of our code of conduct. We have 3 simple rules at Chorlton High: be ready, be respectful, be safe. These are the words that we use all of the time. If you can do those 3 things consistently in our school, you're going to be incredibly successful. But more important than that, you're going to have a nice time. So that's just a reminder for you. That is going back out to students at the end of this week. But it's based on mutual respect and kindness and community. Our communication charter, I've just realised there's a slide missing off, but I'll put that on in a sec. Okay, so we have a parent communication charter. This has been sent to you over the summer. It's on the school website, but we also just wanted to share it this evening so that we're being fully transparent, okay? Teachers have 3 working days within working hours to get back to you. So if you email your child's English teacher about an assessment, we have 3 working days to get back to you. If you have and direct that to the right curriculum area. If you have something that's urgent, and you really need to get in contact with somebody, and we recommend that you do not email, because that teacher might have a 5-hour teaching day, or the head of year might be in back-to-back meetings. If you have an urgent issue, please ring reception and tell them that it's urgent. Try and get through to Miss Irwin. If she's not available, you just ask for a member of SLT, part of the senior leadership team. Now, every single day and every period of every day, there's a member of the senior leadership team who are kind of on call, and they are there to take urgent queries. So they can take that phone call and they can deal with it there and then. But we can't respond to emails straight away. So if you send something in that needs to be checked urgently to safeguarding or to reception, it might not be picked up. So it's really important that you call it through. Meetings should always be pre-arranged with members of staff, rather than turning up on the day, because we might not necessarily be able to see you. And we aim to plan meeting within 5 working days. As I said, this is on the school website. It has been emailed home to you, but it's just a reminder of our communication charter so that everybody's on the same page. Okay, key dates. So 2 key dates for this term, so not that many. Photo day, Wednesday the 20th of September, so get those haircuts booked. And then on Tuesday the 14th of November, your children are having their first Year 9 Pathways Assembly. So as you know, your children are going to be opting for their GCSEs this year, ready to start next year. And I am in charge of that process, which is why I'm staying with Year 9. So I'm going to tell them in assembly what that process is. The PowerPoint that I go through with them, I will pop onto the year group teams page. That means you can access it as well. I will also put it on the school website under Year 9. All of the pathways information will be populated in our pathways section. So that's so you can kind of keep up to it. I'm just giving you advanced warning of the spring term dates, because spring term for Year 9 is an incredibly important term. So the first big one is Tuesday the 9th of January. We have a Year 9 parental event evening online, like I'm doing now, all about pathways. There'll be information on the progress tests as well, because we've got spring term progress tests, but a lot of the evening is going to be talking about pathways and what that looks like for your child. Some of you might know this already if you've got other children in school, but the Year 10s who've just gone through, they're the first year group to go through with the changes. So you will only know the changes if you've got a Year 10 child. So I'm going to introduce all of that information in a parental event evening. It will be recorded, so if you can't attend, you'll be able to access it anyway. The big one, this is date for your diary, get it off work if you can, is Thursday the 11th of January. Is our pathways evening, 6 till 8 o'clock. And that is where we have like a marketplace of all the curriculum areas, all the option subjects, where you and your child can go around and see what's on offer. If your child fancies doing media studies as a GCSE, there will be a media studies stand, and you'll be able to look at coursework and speak to the teacher and the curriculum leader. Miss Morris will also do a head teacher's speech, talking through the options process and how we do it. I will be there as well to answer any questions. But it's our biggest evening for Year 9. So it's really important, if you can, that you come along, and if you can't, that you can, your child can come along with somebody else so that they can speak to the curriculum areas. Okay. Then we have, after that, we have our Year 9 parents evening, which is very timely, and this is in person, so this is not online. So once you've done the pathways evening, you'll have a parents evening, which is really handy because you'll be able to book on to the subject areas that your child is interested in. So again, this is something that we've switched from last year based on parent feedback. It makes sense to follow this process. So you can speak to the right people, but it's in person, so we get to welcome you in again to speak to the teachers and the curriculum leaders if you need to. Then the deadline for the GCSE options forms, we call them the pathways forms, is the end of February. So by the end of February, your child will have opted for their GCSEs, they will have had a pathways evening, a parents' evening, they will have had a one-to-one interview with either me, Miss Irwin, or Mrs. Wilson about their options and whether they're making the right choices. And then they will have had time with you as well at home to make sure that they've picked the right choices. And then it all gets put into the system, timetables are created, and then they're ready off they go to year 10. So that is the spring term. We have summer term dates, but spring term is the most important one because that's when we start the pathways process. Now, we've had a few emails in over the last week. So these are just some of the frequently asked questions from you guys and from different year groups as well. Setting. Okay, we have streaming at Chorlton High, and that's what it looks like in science. Oh, hang on, that says year 8 there. Sorry, I've not chopped that off. So we have 5 bands in year 9. So in band 1, we have 2 of the equivalent ability. So this is just to let you know that when it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it doesn't necessarily mean set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's just to let you know how they've done that, okay? And that is based on summer progress tests and spring progress tests last year. And the core teams, maths, English and science, have obviously sat down together and made the classes this year. If you have any issues with that, or your children have any issues with that, please just communicate that to the curriculum leader as soon as you can. In English, we only have 3 bands. So we've got 4, 4, 3 in English. And that's why that will correlate to the number that's on their timetable. And then in maths, we have 4 bands. So we have 4 in band 1, 3 in band 2, and then 2 and 2 in 3 and 4. So that's just to let you know, a lot of parents have emailed in saying, you know, what does that mean? That's how they are streamed based on their year 8 progress tests. The other thing that we have been asked about is Arbor. So Arbor is obviously up and running. You can add to the account, you can buy new ties, you can get revision books off Arbor. Now there's an Arbor shop, which has been implemented over the summer. But a child's timetable can only be accessed through a desktop or a laptop. When you access it through your phone, it doesn't actually have the room numbers on it. So when you print it, it doesn't quite work. You can also order lockers on Arbor, but I did hear a rumour that all of the lockers have been taken. I'm not sure about that, and I couldn't find the information out before this session, so I will find out. If there is anyone who still needs a locker, I will look into that for you, because a couple of parents have asked me that today. Catering, the food, right? Meal deals this year are £2.80. So you get a meal, a mini home bake, and 1 extra side. That might be an extra savoury side, or it might be an extra treat. And there are the prices. I don't know what, I mean, it's very miniature on my screen. I don't know what it's like on your screen, so my apologies if that's miniature, but they are the prices. They can put money, you can put money on Arbor, or they can use the machines in school. But the meal deals are £2.80 this year. So obviously if you get a meal deal, it's best value because you get an extra side and an extra treat. We always offer complimentary breakfast, free breakfast from 8 o'clock in the morning. So you can get porridge, toast, flapjack, cereal, half a bagel, fruit, pancake, hash brown, or oat cookie. Different things on different days. So you can get that from 8 o'clock in the morning. And then on morning break, you can buy something, but you can also still get toast and fruit for free. So that is available in the morning and at break time. Okay. And then the last frequently asked question was free breakfast. Sorry. Yeah. So you still get a free break time snack as well as the free breakfast. Money can be topped up in school, or money can be put on your Arbor account. If you get a soup and a roll, it's only £1. So that's one of the cheapest things. You can get a super roll, fruit, and you can get something at break time as well. So that's the best value for money. Hot fill baguette's £200. Is that what it says? Okay, there's a mistake on there. A hot fill baguette is not £200, I promise. It'll be a meal deal for £2.80. Okay, so that is the end of the presentation. Now, definitely inflation. And I have got chat on, so I'm happy to stay for the next kind of 10 minutes if people want to ask questions. But just bear in mind, I am on my own, and there's I think there's about 80 of you in this session. We will have a springtime online event all about progress tests, revision timetables and pathways. And then obviously I will meet you in person on the pathways evening and the parents evening. If you've got any questions or any concerns, obviously email the year team, myself, Miss Irwin or Mrs. Wilson, and we will be happy to help. So it's really, really lovely to meet you all. I'm sorry you couldn't see my face. I did try this earlier on and you could see my face, but I am a drama teacher by trade, and us drama teachers are not very good on the computer. Miss Jordan's in the meeting, she can agree with me there. So I will get better. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. I hope you have a lovely evening. I'll stay for the next 10 minutes. Thank you, Miss Jordan. I'll stay for the next 10 minutes just for any questions. Other than that, you are free to go. Thank you so much.